How's it going, Sha?
Business as usual. Just out here in these streets, representing and keeping it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did any of that seem believable?
Like you say it every day, Sha.
Yeah, good. I practice it every day. I don't really believe it, but yeah, just
You're in a
I'm
different
fine.
spot, I have to say.
I am. I don't even know if I sound any different. I may. But I am in my closet.
Okay.
And if you if you are someone who hasn't yet, you might really want to check out our YouTube video this week. Because you will get to see my closet. And I know that there are a few people who are like, no, but really, what is going on in there? And so
I feel like
what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm looking like behind like like a magician's like trick,
Yeah, this is definitely where I keep all the doves.
Yeah.
All the doves, all the half people, all of the scarves. Clearly all of the scarves are in here.
Well, audio wise, it works great. Okay.
Oh, yeah. See why people, but
yeah, this is while the broke rappers record here and in bathrooms. It's it helps like with the noise. So yeah,
sure. But I mean, like, what's it doing to their joints? I'm sitting down. I'm on a cushion, but I have to keep moving my feet, my legs. I don't have that youthful thing of being able to sit cross-leg anymore. I mean, I can.
Right.
I can still cross my legs when sitting down, and that is really where I'm comfortable. Is everything crossed, arms crossed, legs crossed, completely shutting everybody out of my personal space.
Yeah.
But it's when I get to unfold them that is when the age creeps in, and it's like, oh no, you have to sit like this forever because we've already adjusted. I sit on my couch with my legs crossed, very tightly in a very prim and proper way because that's how I'm comfortable. But then I get up and my left hip is in pain, and I'm like, why? And it's like, oh, because I was folded up like origami trying to watch a 2.5 hour movie. I didn't give anything room to breathe. So now my blood is just flowing for the first time.
Welcome back then. There you go. I'm excited to do the podcast. We've been away for a bit. I'm also admittedly excited for the end of the podcast where I get to watch you stand up.
No, going dark. No one should see that.
But yeah, we're back. We're here. It's been a minute.
How are you? I know this was an unexpected break for you, and I know that you had a lot to process.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't ready, Shy. You saw me at a vulnerable moment artistically. But I don't. So like people that don't know, I had a show at Boise, and it was more than a show. It was like I had like a project to do out there with Boise State University. Mm-hmm. So like good times, great times. Worked with the Story Collider people I rock with. Loved it. Shalewa and I made plans to put episodes in place. The internet does not agree with us often. This was one of those times. The connection wasn't working, with the recording, and it just didn't pan out. And to Shalewa's credit, she understands that I have like a thing about like, no, we're gonna get this done. So we tried. We had a backup date for the episodes we were missing. That didn't work. We we set a new time later that day. I like turned off and on the computers. I like looked up stuff on my phone. I'm cooling like I was pampering my PC. Like I had the fan blowing on it, thinking maybe it needs a break, Like I tried everything possible to get it to run. And Shy and I met up a third time to record the second set of episodes that, we missed. But the internet gods were not in our favor. And she was okay with it. She's understood that, podcasts take breaks.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill it. Gastor's trying to kill it. I don't know what I don't know what he's got to prove, but I have nothing to prove anymore. Yeah, we get you're ambitious, but I want it to be a surprise to people when I'm ambitious. Like you? That's what I want. Really? Yep. Who knew? Not even me. So.
Well, yeah, she had to console me because I was having a breakdown there. I knew I was in a bad place because I kept repeating what Sha said. Sha would be like, "It's okay to take 2 weeks." Like, it is okay to take a week. That was the whole conversation for like 5 minutes. It was just Sha telling me like affirmations that I needed to hear. Yeah, so people take vacations. Yeah, people do take vacations. Okay.
Yeah, he was just like, I know you're right. I know you're right. And I'm like, there's a but there. There shouldn't be a but. It should be, I know, comma, you're right, period. You keep saying, man. I know you're right, comma, ellipses, something, but
I've never said the previous sentence, admittedly. That was the first time I got, I was like, I think this is where it ends. I think that's where the sentence ends now.
Yeah.
It took a lot, but yeah, we are back though. I'm okay. Hopefully y'all are still with us 2 weeks later. Or 1 week later, depending on.
It's only been a week. That's the thing, is you think that we've been gone for years.
Yeah.
Like, like if we don't do it, they'll never come back. And I'm like, oh, baby, I don't know who left you, but it's a podcast. Like, it'll just pop up in their player. It won't. No one's making an effort.
Well, that was the other thing, right? It happened. I didn't want to let the people down twice. So I knew we had another situation with another thing I was doing the next week. So again, we're recording in a less than ideal schedule. So I already built in. I was like, all right, we're going to be away 2 weeks. So that way, if we get it back, hey, surprise, we here a week early. Y'all didn't expect us. If not, if things go wrong again on our next recording day, this episode will land on the day that I promised. So either way, we good with the people, but just know that if this is coming out on the day that we promised, which would be May 4th, know that that's 2 weeks of me like just having panic attacks. Like, this is not what I wanted at all. But at least I kept my word. But yeah, ideally this comes out a week early. Shalewa and I know that was our plan, and we get to surprise the people with an episode.
See, already I don't understand the math that Gastor is doing. I don't understand your math. But we will, I think we will work through this together, everyone. We just got some scheduling snafus. It's all over the place. Also, Mercury goes into retrograde in like a week and a half. So like, this is to be, we get it. And I'm breathing deeply and trying to be as patient as possible. This isn't even the only scheduling snafu I have right now. I have one that involves like 12 people and their comedy lives hang in the balance. And I'm just trying to get some feedback. Like, it'll just happen when it happens. It'll be okay.
Amen. I'm with it. I got to tell you, these retrogrades, I didn't know they was always around the corner like this, yo.
They're normally like 3, maybe 4 a year, but they are, they're kind of,
they always creeping up on me.
They are kind of creeping up on you. Yes.
Okay. I got to get used to that. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like you remember like back in 2006 when we retrograded?
No. It's literally like, remember in January when we retrograded, which may be the last time that there was a retrograde. I think was January. Maybe. I don't know. But just be careful in the month of May, everyone. That's what I'll say. Just
let's do that.
Be very deliberate and careful and patient in the month of May.
Woosabs all around, baby. Let's get into the news.
Okay.
A woman tested COVID positive for 505 days, setting a record for most persistent infection and raising fears of how such a case can be incubators for new variants. That is brolic. The patient first tested positive in early 2020 after presenting symptoms of COVID-19. Then over the course of 16 months, the patient was in and out of the hospital, repeatedly taking PCR tests, which all came back positive. Detailed lab analysis revealed the patient had the same persistent COVID rather than repeated bouts of the disease. And even after being administered antibody therapies and antiviral medication. The patient never once tested negative. The patient, much like others with persistent COVID, was immunocompromised with underlying medical conditions and later passed away in the hospital in 2021. That is diesel.
Yikes.
Yo. Previous record was 335, by the way.
Oh, wow. I'm glad we're keeping records. I'm glad we're keeping score of this. Everything is a playoff game.
Definitely.
Right now. Just a friendly little reminder that COVID's still out there.
Yeah, it's real. 505 days, yo.
That is, what they say, 16 months?
Yeah.
So that's almost a year and a half.
That is bananas. How do you do that with work? Like, there comes a point where like your job can't fire you, right? Like, I think that like there's like a leave, then there's like there's like leave with like some type of money, right? Like you get like right, like we don't want you to be, like lose your house, so you get like half your money. Like then that at some point, there's like a medical leave thing. Then at some point that runs out, and then I would assume there's like a leave where like
if you take what happened to this woman, who was a particular case in that she was immunocompromised and in and out of hospitals, but if you took that and applied that to someone who wasn't immunocompromised and just happened to have this squatting case of COVID,
right?
And that's honestly what I was thinking. I was just like, oh yeah, I'd probably be out of a job because I don't see my boss being like, I mean, the whole thing now is just come back when you get a clear test.
Right.
And, it's been a year and I don't have a clear test. Like, stop it.
Yeah. They wouldn't believe you.
Yeah. If you're showing them, but then why would you have to show them? You don't have to give them your medical stuff like that. They should just believe that you have a clean test. You don't have a clean test. Yeah. It sounds very sus, but it's possible. Yeah, no, I guess you just have to, like many people, I guess you're just out of work and you just hope to find something else when you feel better, if you feel up to working.
Word up.
It really brings a lot of things into relief.
Yeah. Imagine needing to get pressed so you could keep your job.
Needing to what? Get in the press?
You had to get pressed, like to keep your job. Like I don't believe you didn't have them. No, for real, B. There's an article coming out tomorrow.
I mean, isn't that what a doctor's note is? Just a press release that you had to go? I feel like that's what a doctor's note is. Just to whom it may concern. Yesterday, this person came in to see us, promoting their new illness, dry cough or whatever. I feel like that is what that's basically what a doctor's note is.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at doctor's notes differently now. I like that idea. New sickness. Hot in the head, cold for the streets. Let's go. In other news, there's a zombie snake that's emerging across the United States.
Okay, that's enough. What? What do you mean a zombie snake? Like zombies with snakes? Or?
Okay. In North Carolina is issuing a warning to its citizens about snakes. There's an eastern hognose snake, the extraordinary zombie snake of the world, is one of the most uniquely adaptive snakes in the U.S. It has a truly incredible defense strategy. When it feels threatened, the snake plays dead, only to suddenly rise from the dead later and slither off as if nothing happened.
All right, so it's not really dead?
Okay, yeah, it's not really dead. So we good. It just looks dead.
Oh, well then it's just a possum snake.
That's pretty, yeah. Why didn't they name it possum snake? That'd have been way like friendlier.
Yeah. Also, by the way, my cat will come in here at any time and totally mess this whole delicate balance that I have up. So just maybe be prepared for that.
No worries.
Also, just call it a possum snake. And do you know when a snake is dead? I say that to say this. when I was living with my my best friend Jordan, I moved in with her years ago, and she had quite a few pets: bearded dragons, a couple of iguanas, a tarantula, and a little snake. I say a little snake, like it was a cute little. It wasn't. I forget what kind it was. A corn snake, maybe. I don't know. But while living with her in that house with those animals, we had a holiday party.
Yeah.
And the next day, we were finishing up cleaning up, and she said, "Oh no, the snake is dead." And I was like, "How do you know if the snake is dead?" And she said, "It's all curled up." And I went, Again, how do you know that the snake is dead? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know a dead? It's not like little X's form over its eyes. How do you know? And they stay in a position for a very long time. And she's like, no, it's curled up in a spiral. Snakes don't do that.
Really?
And then when she went to pick the snake up, it went limp in a way where she's like, "Oh, someone like snapped its neck." And I was like, "Where is the neck on a snake?" But someone broke the snake and then tried to hide it by curling it up in a perfect spiral.
Interesting. Okay.
But at any rate, my question is, how do you know a snake is dead?
So does it curl up when it dies? Like, is that like a thing? Or is that like how you knew it was dead because someone else did that?
Because someone else did that. A snake would not normally curl itself up in the manner that someone tried to. Someone like me, if I had broken a snake's neck,
right,
and I was like, no one can know that I killed the snake, I absolutely would curl it up in a tight spiral because I think that's what snakes look like. Because any other way you lay it out, it looks like it's dead because the head's going a different way, I guess. So I guess I would try to do that. So that's why I was like, but don't, because my thinking is, don't snakes just curl up? And not always. And so, I mean, she was able to eyeball it and know immediately that it was dead. So clearly there's something that I don't know about snakes.
How often is she around snakes? Does she get like eyeball a snake?
She likes reptiles and you know, snakes and worms and animals. She likes animals. She's a real nature kind of girl. That we're best friends is wild. Because she loves nature and she loves doing crafts, and it's like I can't think of two things I'd want to run away from faster. But yeah. She so when I moved in, she just had these, you know, bearded dragons and leopard geckos and 2 iguanas. She used to do like a foster thing where people would buy iguanas as pets and then go, "Oh, I don't want this at all," and then they turn it in to like a pet store or something. So some pet stores had people that were like, "We'll watch the iguanas, you know, and foster them in the way that you foster a dog or a cat." She did that with iguanas. So yeah.
You know interesting people, Shy.
I do. I do. I miss those iguanas though. They were kind of sweet.
Oh man, yeah, they never forgot holidays. They were great. You know?
They were nice. I actually did a show. Have you seen this show happening in New York, Gastor? A stand-up show where the host have you hold some sort of animal like that, you know, an exotic animal while doing your set?
No.
I'll pass along your name to them.
Is that a threat or a hookup? I don't even know.
No.
What did I do to you, Sha?
This is what happens. You miss a week, and now I'm threatening to make you tell jokes with a bearded dragon. I did it recently, and I had a bearded dragon on my lapel. I guess it was the lapel. And I guess maybe it was sleepy time for the bearded dragon. It didn't really move around much, but I still think about that little bugger. It was real sweet.
Rock on. Okay.
Yeah. But they also have like big, a couple of big snakes or a chinchilla.
Okay.
I believe that's what Ray Sani did. Comedian Ray Sani. Yeah. Who's very funny, friend of the show. She held a chinchilla. Oh no, she didn't hold the chinchilla. She held the hedgehog. But there is a chinchilla. I thought about doing a chinchilla, but it was moving around too much and I was too tired. I was like, get me something that doesn't move. And they were like, well, the bearded dragon is partially asleep. And I'm like, so am I, baby. Strap him on. Strap him on.
You found a spirit animal. I like it.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, man. The world's richest person Elon Musk says he doesn't own a home right now, Sha, and he rotates. He claims that he rotates sleeping at his friend's cribs. If I travel to the Bay Area, which is where most of the Tesla engineering is, I basically rotate through friends' spare bedrooms. Musk has an estimated net worth of $251 billion, according to Bloomberg, and apparently does not need his own pad.
But he bought Twitter.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't have a house, but he owns Twitter. Also, he has a company called The Boring Company, and what they do is bore holes for tunnels.
Yeah.
So he's always like, put a tunnel in it. He can't just build a house in a tunnel. Come on, bruh.
Come on, B. You got the space.
I know he's an evil billionaire, but he's not even doing that right. How are you going to be an evil billionaire sleeping on someone else's couch? Not just one person's couch. It's not like he has a dedicated room at one friend who's like, I can deal with Elon. But literally, he can stay with someone until they're like, you got to go. Even his friends are like, I'll give him 3 days, but then you got to find something else. That's rough. That's broke boy behavior.
Yeah. This is odd to me. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a certain level of rich where I assume you need space, to process the evil you're doing. You know, like it's heavy on the mind. You know, you got to walk. You can't walk around with that kind of evil like in your head, and also like put your toothbrush in like a toothbrush hole specifically.
Right.
You know, like it's just your bathroom. I feel like, yeah, like I'm just blown away that this dude is like living in conditions where he's like, yo, is the bathroom free? You know, like that's just not like a life that I expected him to be having.
Also, isn't he a father?
Yeah, he has people. Where are they at?
Okay, so is he like dodging like child support? I just realized he probably doesn't want to pay property taxes with his lazy ass. But then he has some sort of like robot child, and doesn't he have to kick in a few shekels for that?
Yeah, you're right. He definitely has made people. It sounds suspect, B.
He's literally moving like a hobosexual. Are we familiar with the term hobosexual?
Educate the public, please.
Those are folks who just always have a backpack. Like they're like, hey, can I come over and hang for a while? And you're like, sure. And they come over with a backpack and a tote bag or something. And you're like, that's not a while. Why are you bringing luggage? Why are you, like and they're just like, hey, I just need a place. Something happened at such and such's house, and I just need a place just for tonight. And then cut to a week later and you're out of everything.
And that's when they leave.
Yeah, maybe not. It depends on if there's a romantic. Usually I hear it in a romantic setting. Like there's some sort of romance. You have some sort of relationship with a hobosexual.
Okay.
And I really think, it's an evocative name. It's exactly what they are, but I also feel bad for hobos and homosexuals when I use it. Like, I'm like, that's not right. I shouldn't. Those are two groups that I really should be respecting more by not using hobosexual. But give me a better name for this idiot.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm impressed that the name transforms like that. Like, hobo is offensive. Homosexual is like a category.
Right.
And then homosexual, like, is like, whoa. You know, like, I don't know. It escalates the word in a weird way.
Yeah, it's something to look out for. And they're out there, people. They are out there. I don't know if they're only cis men. Those are just the ones I've dealt with. But I'm sure there are plenty of cis women who are just like, and you put up with them. They show up with like, at least they probably have a rolling bag in like a trunk. I feel like the men don't even have a car, but the women at least have a car with all of their stuff in the back.
Are they working on anything? Like, I feel like this reminds me a lot of like people that like, they said they were like writers or directors.
They definitely are grifting in the creative world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard to be. You also, I guess you could be like a bootleg tech bro, right?
Yeah.
And say you need capital for your startup. You need things that you are starting. They try to put themselves out as self-starters,
Right.
but they never actually start a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's never a finishing point. Like you don't see a product, but they're always planning on, and they just need a little. They just give me a couple of days, and can I put my book bag down, and now they'll never get up. Now they're squatting. So it's why. So I see. That's why I'm like, oh sure, Elon is that. Look at all these grifts that he's running now.
What if that's how he became like rich? Like he just stayed in people's houses for 30 days?
Oh,
and
no.
started claiming their properties?
No, he became rich because his dad has an emerald mine in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
He been rich. No, he's not a self-made nothing. He's been rich. He didn't even come up with the Tesla.
Yeah.
He just bought into the company.
Oh, thug life.
And then he's like, let's make them stop at weird times. So yeah. But that's what I mean. The kind of guy who would just crash at your place for no more than 3 days is also the kind of person who's like, why don't we make the screen in a Tesla only show Mario Kart while you're driving? Like he's
he's got issues.
Yeah, innovative, but at what cost?
I will say I wouldn't mind if the car showed real life as Mario Kart.
No.
That I would be into.
I feel like people already see things as Mario Kart as they're driving.
Like if that was a mode I could click, I'd be into that.
Maybe if there were sound effects and music and stuff.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I'd be into that. Elon, you got stuff to do. You don't got any like yards to rake. You got free time.
I can't. Oh boy, he doesn't have a place to live. Buy a place.
He did have that like little tiny house he was living in, that like $40,000-$50,000 crib once.
He was living in a tiny house. That also tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. But why isn't he? Where was the tiny house? Was it in California or was it in Texas?
I think it was in Cali. I forget. I know it was like the most advanced of the tiny houses, but it was a tiny house. It was like the size of like a living room, the whole thing. They showed one on like on a news article once. I remember seeing it, and they were like, "Yo, this is where he lives." I'm like, "He's never there. There's no way.
Not at all.
That
not
might be where he naps for lunch.
Okay.
I'll believe that, but yeah,
maybe
apparently
maybe it's his son's tiny house. Why don't you have a child?
We're not believing you, Elon. Okay.
Oh boy.
I would say so more publicly, but you now own the platform that I used to yell things on.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. I don't even know how to feel about that. Not great.
Oh man. Another news, Massachusetts parents sue schools saying that officials were encouraging children to use new names, pronouns without their consent. Parents are taking their children's school to court, alleging the teachers encouraged their children to change their pronouns and names without their parents' knowledge. Parents Stephen Foote and Marissa Silvestri claimed their child was encouraged by Ludlow public school officials to adopt a new name and different gender pronouns. Parents Jonathan Feliciano and Sandra Salmarin, who are also involved in the suit, alleged the school's policies to withhold information from parents about children's gender identities violates their parental and religious rights. The Ludlow School Committee and implicated educators exceeded the bounds of the legitimate pedagogical.
Oh, something.
Yeah, pedagogical concern.
Yeah, that's it. Vocabulary with Gastor and Shalewa.
And usurped the role of the plaintiffs and other parents in the town of Ludlow to direct the education and upbringing of their children, make medical and mental health decisions for their children, and to promote and preserve the family privacy and integrity, the lawsuit alleges. Defendants' protocol and practice of concealing from parents information related to their children's gender identity and efforts to affirm a discordant student gender identity at school violates parents' fundamental rights under the United States and Massachusetts constitutions and violates children's reciprocal rights to the care and custody of their parents, family privacy and integrity.
What? I don't understand any of that last part, but let's get to the first part, which is why would a school make the children change their pronoun and gender thing? Did they make them change it, or were they having a discussion about it? And how old were the kids? What grade were the kids?
I don't know if it says that here. Let me see. That's a good question. The Ludlow Public School. Let me see if it has like grades. I'm gonna assume elementary. I feel like if high school kids are doing this, like, yo, this ain't that big a deal.
Right, exactly. That's gonna happen. That's the least of your worries. If all you have is a child has decided to identify or feels like they are another gender and identify as such, that's nothing compared to AP classes, you know?
Right.
But if it's children, like young children, perhaps there was a discussion that was being had, and kids are unreliable narrators at best. Yeah. So I bet a couple went home and was just like, I'm a they now. And, they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, teacher says I'm a they. Or, how things get twisted as they're trying to process.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that feels like to me, more so than everyone standing up like, oh, Captain, my Captain style, and declaring that they're a different gender. That doesn't seem, or a teacher going like, and now you're this, you're that, you're this. I don't know what you are. You're like, what teacher's doing that? That seems weird.
Yeah, like I feel like every teacher I've spoken to is like, y'all barely had time to cover the stuff in the books.
Right.
Like,
who's got free time to spend on gender?
Yeah. Like that's a nuanced issue that like adults are just kind of starting to learn. Like we're not just throwing that into the lesson plan.
Yeah.
I feel like, I do think children would learn it faster. I don't think the adults teaching the children trust themselves to add that to the palette. I feel like they're like, that's a lot of extra work. Let's stick to the ABCs, my G.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
and over and over again, I have cousins that are teachers, and like I've asked them, like, yo, what do you do when they ask a question that you don't want to answer? I say, oh, that's wild. Talk to your mom.
Oh, that's wild.
Yo.
I love that so much.
That is like verbatim. He's like, yo, that's wild, yo. You talk to your mom about that? And I keep it moving. If you've heard that, if you're under 18 and you've heard that in your life, that person is related to me, just so you know.
Man. Yeah, just the teacher going, wow. Yeah. Whew.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so.
So like I was saying, obtuse angles.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot for teachers to be taking this on. If it came up, I feel like it was a natural progression from students' interests. And I think there's far better things for the parents to be doing than suing the school, like having these conversations.
Yeah. Talk to your kid and try to suss out what it was they were trying to say.
Yeah. Get everybody in the same room. I ain't even mad at that. Like, yo, like, you're already doing it for a lawsuit. Why don't we just do that to help the kids? Like, get the teachers in the room, get the kids in the room, say, hey, what was going on? So we could explain what you think you heard and, or what you think you know as a kid versus what we kind of heard through you in a weird, like, telephone game,
Yeah. And maybe I don't know a lot about education and teachers, and I clearly don't. But it seems wild that would happen in a public school system.
Yeah.
Even if that were to happen, that feels very private schooly.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of this energy was very different to me.
Yeah. And it feels like maybe that could happen, but it would be a very hippy dippy school. That's like a private situation, but not necessarily. My understanding is that public school teachers are extremely overworked.
Mm-hmm.
and do not have the time for this. So who
this
now has to add a lawsuit to that is insane.
Yeah, this does not seem like conducive to the job. I definitely feel like
No.
this is all extra work.
Yeah,
That's how you know
absolutely.
the parents are privileged, in my opinion, by the way. Like,
when they want to sue for something like this?
And they have the time to follow through on it. Like,
Yeah.
my parents have been angry, you know, and they'd be like, yo, if I had the time, I would sue, sure. But instead they make, you know, a scene.
This could be a meeting. Yes, absolutely. This is a meeting. This isn't a lawsuit.
Yeah, you go, you handle it that day and it's done. And the teachers don't want to do that. They don't want to even do that again. So it got resolved. Come on, UMass, get your stuff together out there, B. The U.S. is officially out of the pandemic phase of COVID-19, according to Fauci. It's Fauci, though. The U.S. is out of the COVID-19 pandemic phase, says Anthony Fauci, the president, Joe Biden's chief medical advisor, counter to Shalewa Sharpe's opinion. We are certainly, right now in this country, out of the pandemic phase. Namely, we don't have 900,000 new infections a day and tens and tens and tens of thousands of hospitalizations and thousands of deaths. We are at a low level right now. So if you're saying, are we out of the pandemic phase in this country? We are, he said. This feels very much like I'm supposed to look for the gun behind him kind of statement. Like, that felt very forced. A
little bit.
As I was reading it, I was like, all right, this is some ransom shit. Okay. COVID-19 cases in the U.S. have tumbled dramatically over the past couple of months as the Omicron wave receded, but daily cases are still 2 times higher than they were for most of last summer. New cases are ticking back up in most states, and hospitalizations have started to rise over the past week as well. Few people are dying of COVID-19 now than during most of the pandemic, but with more than 400 deaths a day, the past 2 months of COVID-19 have been more deadly than most recent flu seasons.
Wow. Okay. This really feels very semantic-y.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, well, we've got this. First of all, I don't trust any of the numbers right now as far as cases, because people are catching cases and not reporting them to whoever is keeping track of the numbers, right?
Right.
Like, I'm seeing positive tests in my IG stories all the time.
Right.
Are these people then calling the CDC to be like, hey, another one? And another one. No. No one's scanning the QR code on these boxes to enter in to let folks know. No one's, at this point, no one's telling their doctor, because it's been beaten to our brains to just treat it like a cold. Just ride that bitch out.
Yeah, stay home.
Whatever happens, happens. So why even tell anyone?
Yeah.
So like, I don't trust their numbers because, and then there's been such a reduction in state run, in Fed run, like, testing sites, which is where they were getting that info from. And, you know, I don't know, man. Like, if I were to get it again and I catch it here I test myself all the time. I'm probably not going to tell somebody.
Right.
And like a doctor, like, hey, can you make sure I'm on the list or whatever? I'm not going to do that.
You'll add me to the data.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the data, but like, so I don't know if I really trust the data right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're in a place where people are like, we're in New York, our numbers are higher. We're lucky that way, I guess.
It's a blessing, really. You know?
So there's that. But then the whole, like, well, if you apply these values to it, we don't have this many number of cases, that there aren't this many people dying in the hospitals. We don't have this or that or the other. So then technically it's not a pandemic, and I'm okay. But then what is it?
Yeah, it's something.
Is it endemic? Because that's moving it towards more of like what a flu is, where it's like, we know it's happening every year. It's a new strand. We develop a new kind of vaccine for it. You got to take the flu. Like, is it like that? Is it like a cold where we just know it's just going to blow through all the time? It's a problem.
Yeah.
Or what? Like, if it's not a pandemic and I haven't heard you say endemic, bro, what is it? Because it's happening.
We need answers.
Yeah,
Okay?
give me a name. It needs to be some kind of emic.
That's it.
Something.
Academic, you know what I mean? It can be closed.
What is it? What is it?
We need answers, okay? Get back to us. Stop hiding, okay? And stop making Fauci make statements he don't want to make, okay?
Yeah, yeah, under duress.
You know, I look wild aggressive, okay?
He's all we've got. It's so sad. He's all we've got left. The CDC has been so compromised. And honestly, that kind of hurts my heart how much the CDC has been compromised. Yeah. Because it really was one of the few things I thought you could trust on some level, just because other presidents didn't want you to die like that anyway. Not in mass, you know what I mean? Like, so the CDC were issued what they were supposed to do, and then even if it was political, which I'm sure it was, the goal was still not to have people die by the boatloads. And when that change was evident, and it became evident, and it was just like, oh wow, this is highly politicized, and I've never seen them act in this way before. Like, I just never seen the CDC be like, what, hold on now. You know what I mean? Oh, did we say that? Our bad. We really meant what that guy wants us to say. Like, within a day, changed their minds. I've never seen that before.
Night and day.
It really crushed me.
It hurts.
It really crushed me a bit. Yeah.
And like, I've gotten to the point now to where, like, that's kind of my issue with this article, because there's a video attached showing Fauci say the lines. I only trust Fauci outdoors. Like, okay. I feel like if he, like, as soon as I saw the video, like, it's wrong, but like, my first instinct was, oh, green screen. This ain't him. You know?
Oh, wow.
Like, I need to see trees moving. I need to see people like in the area recording it with the iPhone. Like, there needs to be other people that documented this moment. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this is one camera. You know what I mean? Only one person saw this whole Fauci. Nah, this ain't real. You know what I mean? This is a green screen. They got a Fauci impersonator on Fiverr, you know?
On Fiverr?
And my man.
Probably on Cameo. They probably got him on Cameo.
My man came straight off the Cameo, $115, you know? And they got Fauci to answer. He didn't even answer questions. He just gave 3 specific lines and kept it moving. He flubbed it. He would have corrected all the stuttering, but you got to pay extra for that. Okay, that's the upgraded package.
All right, so that's your theory.
That's my theory.
Was probably in a cave somewhere.
Yeah,
with a green screen.
I think Fauci's under duress. I think this is green Fauci. This is green screen Fauci right here. This ain't even him. This is a cutout picture. And like when I see like it looked too perfect. Like it there's like a little bit of me that like I focus on the lips, because like I remember the old Conan O'Brien sketches where he would like cut out the mouth part.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happening. I don't even think he moves that much in these videos. Yeah. Right. It gotta be outdoor Fauci. It's the only one I trust. It's like Hooded Carmelo, you know, Hooded Mello.
Oh, he sure. Was in his zone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only Fauci I trust, baby. Outdoor Fauci. Okay? We gonna make it happen. If Fauci makes a speech, I'm looking for wind. Okay? If I don't see wind, it ain't real.
Well, you've heard that here first, everybody.
Now, I'm just saying, put it out there. You know,
his conspiracy theory about whether or not we're hearing from the real Fauci.
Listen, anytime Fauci said something iffy, he was indoors by himself. That's what I'm saying. You know, anytime he said something you could stand on, there was other people in the room. You know, or there was just no room.
I don't know if that's 100% true, but who knows? And who knows? His math may be right. But again, I don't trust the data that he's working from.
Listen.
I got an issue with the data. Gastor has an issue with the delivery.
Yeah. Delivery.
Either way, we got issues.
There's a problem here, is all I'm saying. In other news, Disney's self-governing district says Florida cannot dissolve it without paying off its debts. That's right. Disney's self-governing special district, the Reedy Creek Improvement District, says that Florida's move to dissolve the district next year is not legal unless the state pays off Reedy Creek's extensive debts. Reedy Creek is a special purpose district created by state law in May of 1967 that gives Walt Disney Company extensive governmental control over the land in and around its Central Florida theme parks. With that power, Reedy Creek currently has about $1 billion in outstanding bond debt, according to the credit rating agency Fitch Ratings. In a statement issued to its bondholders last Thursday, Reedy Creek pointed out that in 1967 law also included a pledge from Florida to its bondholders. The law states that Florida will not in any way impair the rights or remedies of the holders until all such bonds, together with interest therein, and all costs and expenses in connection with any act or proceeding by or on behalf of such holders are fully met and discharged. Due to that pledge, Reedy Creek said it expects to continue business as usual. This all sounds super strange, right? Like, sounds like it came out of nowhere. Apparently, this is all stemming because of the recent law that was passed, Don't Say Gay. Mm-hmm. The governor and most of Florida is very Republican. One of the few places that is not Republican in Florida is the actual Disneyland park and its employees. Mm-hmm. And after initially saying that they wouldn't rebuke the push for this, Disney's leadership has come out against this Don't Say Gay law. And because of that, the governor of Florida has been motivated to take this course of action. And here we are. So, yeah, crazy. You take a stance. Now they try to break up your property.
Man, Governor DeSantis, is it?
I believe so, yeah.
Can go eat his hat. Look here. I bet he did not look at any of that. I have a feeling he doesn't look at any paperwork, but he definitely did not really look at that bill or the paperwork about this property for Disney before being like, oh yeah, well, we're going to take away your your sovereign rights stay or whatever. Like you now we're going to run it. You can't run it the way you've been running it. I'm sure he just yelled that out in his office and they were like, all right, let's get that down. Someone get that out there.
Yeah.
I am sure he's like, we got to do what? We got to pay for, huh? Like, I know he didn't know that.
No one said that.
And I'm sure that's why Disney didn't like respond right away. They were like, oh, word? That's what you're going to do? Okay, we'll be right back. We just need to double check something right quick. Because it's been like a week or something. And they were like, okay, we'll be back. And now they're back and they're like, okay, well, cut us the check. Because you got to pay for all of this.
You thought Walt didn't have receipts, my G?
Yeah. So, you don't think you can do that? All right. Well, then we're just going to keep going the way we've been going. Come on. Also, you have to know how far you've gone if Disney is like, yo, don't say gay? Y'all tripping. Because, I mean, Disney's got I want to say better now, but I don't know if I really can. But there's been some improvement, but Disney definitely is not a company that's been 100% with the LGBTQ community.
Right.
All right.
I feel comfortable saying that because of the amount of art involved, in general, I feel the artist community would be leaning left and would lean liberal and would understand more about LGBTQ rights than a general business organization in Florida. So I feel like when I think of Disney's employees, I could see them being mostly, hey, this is fucked up. But business Disney, that's like, yo, we just trying to get everybody at the park. I don't think they cared about LGBTQ rights at all. And I think that's why they initially was like, we ain't saying anything.
I mean, I think that a company that was started by Walt Disney, a known anti-Semite.
Yeah. You could have just started there. You're right.
yeah. Like I feel like it's in the the proof is in the like it's the roots, the seed that it grew from was already pretty gross. So yeah, but I mean, like on top of that, not even breaking it down into art and all that kind of stuff, because none of that matters. They're just running a huge fucking amusement thing.
Yeah.
And there it's just about the bottom line. So, but that don't say gay bill is egregious in how terrible it is. Just, I mean, unnecessary, not legislating something that was not a concern to the greater population. Just ugly, just an ugly bill to pass. And extremely mean spirited. And you kind of, and not only that, I mean, the people working, like you said, you know, the artist type, there are a lot of performers.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's not just people. When you concentrate on Florida, the people in Florida to work there, that's a shitty way to be. Also, it's in Orlando, Pulse nightclub, that was in Orlando. Like, that city is not trying to hear whatever this bullshit is.
Right.
It feels like, because of that very tangible thing that happened. So yeah, they're not gonna, and they honestly probably didn't say anything at first because they were like, okay, we'll give them a minute to really look into what that means instead of making this declaration, and then just slowly pull that back. Just like, did we say we meant, we'll have a discussion, you know, like that kind of thing. That's probably what they were waiting on. And then it got to be like a week or so later, and they're like, oh, wow, they're still pushing forward on this. Let us remind them of what that law actually is.
Yeah.
Of what the agreement is. And I mean, before we have to start pulling out, because it's kind of like what happened in Atlanta, where there was some sort of, what was the reason in Cobb County? I think it was some sort of anti-gay legislation or something, and all of Hollywood that moved down to Atlanta and Georgia and been filming things for the past, I don't know, 7 years or something like that, maybe 10. Like, it's a booming business, and it's because they were getting these wild tax breaks. And so when that governor at the time was just like, oh, you know, we're going to cut these tax breaks or whatever it was he said, and then all these, you know, studios were like, okay, well, I'm out. We're out. Deuces. Peace. You know, called his bluff, and he was like, okay, we'll work that through. Like, yo, all that space. Netflix just built a big old thing.
He was gonna leave that shit empty.
Yeah, just all right. We'll be out. And like, give me, yeah. So it's like that, and Florida's bluff was absolutely going to get called.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that you can do, with all the BS that's gone through Florida already. You don't think someone else has already been like, well, maybe we'll just, you know, take these rights from Disney, and then looked at the thing. Hey, find out what happens if we want to, you know, take back the rule of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And then it came back, and they were like, oh,
yeah,
okay, you know what? Never mind. But this idiot certainly didn't have anyone look into it, because he's a monster, and just declared what he wanted to declare, and it was just like, and that's that. And yeah, so it did take Disney to be like, hey, bruh, did you read all the fine print? It's not even that fine. It's literally the same size.
It's bold as hell. Now, we underline that, okay?
Yeah. so let us know where to get the check.
Now, man, it's a smooth Billy.
Yeah, the small bills only, please.
Oh, man. Paper gangsters over there. I love seeing it.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to get my own self-governed block, okay? I'm excited. It's going to be great. Just so I can win an argument like this one day.
I feel like you already have it.
Yeah, I'm close. In
your home.
Yeah, you know.
But I still feel like you don't fully run it. But you know, they let you believe you do.
That's all that matters. As long as it's in my head, I'm okay. I feel good about it. Finally, Megan Fox has a blood drinking ritual with Machine Gun Kelly and thinks that social media is sinister because of their opinions on it. That's right. Megan Fox would like to clear up what people think about her and fiance Machine Guns Kelly drinking of each other's blood. So I guess to drink each other's blood might mislead people, or people are imagining us with goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few droplets. But yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only.
For ritual purposes only. Can we just concentrate on that phrase? She said that as if it was a choice on a form, on an insurance form. Is this for recreation? Is this for ritual purposes only? Is this for occupational? Like,
that's it, you know? We wasn't going to let you on this flight, but you need that blood for ritual purposes only. Okay, if it's
ritual purposes only, then that's fine. Bitch, what is you talking about?
Fox is on the cover of the April issue of Glamour Mag and said that she's into astrology, metaphysical practices, meditations, as well as new and full moon practices. When she and Kelly do the blood ritual, she said it's for passage or it is used for a reason. Okay. What the reason is, we would like to know. It is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it, Fox said. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just cut his chest open with a broken glass and be like, take my soul. They're magnetic, people have been saying about the pair, so nobody's really interacting with them too much, but they're just stuck. Yeah. I kept this aside and I was like, why? I'm not going to read this until I'm reading it on air. I want to give them a genuine chance. Yeah, I was like, maybe there's some like thing I don't know. Like, oh, it turns out like, drinking other people's blood is great for like your magnesium or some shit, you know? I don't know. I was hopeful, right? I really was. I was trying to give it a benefit of the doubt. Like, yo, you heard about the iron in other people's blood is way stronger than your iron. It's a great supplement, you know what I mean?
Right.
GNC is trying to figure out how to tap into this. I wanted something like that. No, she just kept doubling down on the weird. She's like, I know you think it's weird because people think this, but actually they are correct to think this. Like, what is she doing?
First, look, here's what I think. It's not if you come into the table and you're just like, me and my creepy significant other do a weird thing with blood, I'm like, Angelina already did it. Next. Yeah. What are we doing? I mean, yeah, she didn't drink it because she's not insane, but I mean, we already got that scare. We already got that jump scare when she was like, me and Billy Bob Thornton wear each other's bloods in a vial around our neck. That's enough. We don't need to take it to the next level. That's enough to be like, oh, so that feels wild. Also, again, ritual purposes only is insane to me. And I don't think that's a clear enough explanation of the ritual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can, there are many things you can do on new moons and full moons. I have 3 astrology apps on my phone. So I'm not saying I'm deep, but I mean, I'm in there a little bit. I still haven't come across the update where it's like, and now is the time that you drink someone else's blood. Nah, I'm good. And you can't burn sage around each other.
There's so many other ways.
There are other things that you have to do. Also, that you're with a guy who is just like, I will cut my chest open and you can just drink from my teat or whatever. Yo. Man, y'all, what are your conversations like? Are you two the most boring people ever? Because you got nothing else going on? Have you even watched Hacks? Like, have you watched anything on television? Do you get Peacock? Like, do you do normal shit? Because this is unnecessary and you're clearly boring because you think this is exciting. It's not exciting. And for you to act like, oh, these people, they think we're doing a weird thing. Well, bitch, you're doing something weird. Don't put this on us.
Yeah. It wasn't one person. It was people.
Yeah. Also, trust me, we didn't need this from you, Megan Fox.
At all.
We didn't need this from you. We don't wish you ill. I don't wish Megan Fox ill because she's been through the ringer of being a very attractive woman who's acting in Hollywood that I wouldn't wish on anyone.
Right.
Like all of that bullshit. And if this is how she has figured out how to deal with it, I hope that there'd be a healthier way. All that said, when they break up, that's either going to be a whole lot or it's going to be absolutely nothing because they are boring people.
Yeah.
Other than this, and this isn't even enough for me, there is nothing I want to talk to those two about, separately or together. Neither of them have really done anything that I'm just like, yeah.
That's fair.
Let me talk to you about that. I read a whole profile, I think, on Machine Gun Kelly, and I was like, I didn't know a song before, and I've read about him, and I am not moved to look up a song after. If I read about a whole profile on a musician, and I didn't even go to YouTube to look up a video of one of their songs, they ain't it. That's not it. I look up the stupidest shit on YouTube, but I didn't even look up a Machine Gun Kelly song after reading that profile. Nah, bro, you ain't the one.
You ain't the one, my G. You know what I mean?
I don't care how much blood you drink. Also, just take iron. Take iron. Yeah. Maybe eat beef. I don't know, spinach. Do something else. Make a ritual out of that. Popeye did. I don't get it.
We got supplements, okay?
You got supplements.
Come on, my G.
Work those into it.
If you would like.
Yo, if you want to send me iron supplements, I'll take that. I'm anemic as hell. And I haven't dated one guy whose blood I want to drink. Not a one.
If you would like Shalewa to get an iron supplement sponsorship for this podcast.
Yes.
All you got to do is subscribe to the show, baby. That's right.
That's how the companies are paying attention.
If you are an Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars means you want Shalewa to get a sponsorship from an iron supplement company, but they only give you 80% of your daily needs as trash. Shalewa deserves the full 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 5 stars means she gets 110% because I believe iron is water soluble. So she pees out a little bit of it, but she still gets all she needs.
Well, maybe not too much. It does block you up.
Yeah, not too much.
Maybe also throw some fiber in there with me too. I need all the supplements. I am weak.
Oh, man. If you have any articles you'd like us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shouts to Anthony Anderson who sent us a couple of articles for this week. I'm blanking. Someone else did too as well. I'll shout you out on a upcoming episode. I'm forgetting right now, but appreciate you.
I'd like to shout out people who have reached out even while we were on our break.
Yeah, yo.
Thank you. I know Gastor feels good and maybe bad about that, but it's very sweet to see. Thank you so much for reaching out and letting us be a part of your life. We really do appreciate that.
Sincerely, it was heartfelt and I was every time I got a message, I was like, yo, I love and appreciate y'all, and also was like, damn it, I knew I should have figured out a way.
No, don't let him. No, that's just you, bruh. I was on a raft down the lazy river, going, this is wonderful, and that's a metaphorical raft in lazy river. There's no way I'm on a raft in a lazy river. In my heart, I was.
Yo, Sha, you don't know, yo. I was like, all right, so if I plug in this phone in this hotel lobby, you know, into the iPhone, into the iPad, I could still get the same quality audio and I could record this podcast.
No, you cannot. It would not be. You're too particular in how you want it to be perfect, but then you want it to be all the time, and it can't be both.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're right. See, I'm saying it right correctly.
See? That's exactly how the conversation went.
I'm doing better, okay? I'm actually ending it, okay? It was definitely not that like affirmative before.
Yeah, it's getting in. It's seeping in.
Oh, man. With all that said, my name is Gastor Almonte, always with the homie Shalewa Sharpe. This has been an episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.